I've never been one to keep my thoughts to myself. Whether I was criticizing the latest fashion trends or pushing the next must-read to my friends, I grew up extremely opinionated. In more recent years, parallel to our political climate, let's just say I've been even more expressive of them. So now, before meeting with family, before hosting a dinner, before going out with friends, my mother gently reminds me to not talk about politics. To this day, my parents caution me to be careful of what I say because the world we live in is dangerous and unpredictable. In fact, they strongly urge that I don't bring my controversial ideas and hot takes to school. Apparently, my friends don't need to hear about the state of our economy every second of every day. To that, I nod in agreement, but like every other teenager, I end up defying them anyway. Sorry, Mom and Dad. It's not that I want to be disagreeable or difficult. It's that while they're thinking of consequence, I am thinking of change. And it's obviously not just them. Especially in more recent years, we have been accustomed to believe that these difficult conversations we should be having are taboo, or something that is not appropriate for any setting. But why are we so conditioned to believe that these conversations are not appropriate, and why are we conditioned to minimize political dialogue in any way that we can? Why must we suppress our beliefs and ideologies when politics affects virtually everything that matters, our rights, our communities, our identities, and our futures, and so much more? And this isn't just common at the workplace or at home. When it comes to politics, schools across the nation has been places where clashing ideas become personal, where debates turn toxic, and where the goal of meaningful conversation gets lost in the noise. In the past, even political discourse at Mineola, a club meant to foster dialogue, had become a source of division. These things are reminders of how easily discourse can go wrong when respect and empathy are pushed aside. As an active participant throughout high school, I knew that our club and our society's persistent dysfunction wasn't just failing our communities, it was failing the principles of democracy itself. It was then I found Bridge USA. Bridge USA is a national organization dedicated to bridging the political divide in America. The goal of Bridge USA is to not change minds or create centrists, but encourage students to engage differing beliefs, experiences, and perspectives. I knew that this initiative was exactly what our high school needed and wasted no time reaching out to our club advisor, fellow students, and administration. The next month involved a lot of preparation. I met with administration, completed moderation trainings with Bridge USA, and created a social media, and more. By the time the club fair had arrived, over 50 students had signed up to join Bridge USA. Since then, we've had several successful meetings with topics ranging from elections to immigration. So how exactly do these discussion events operate? Bridge Mineola focuses on 4 important norms of discussion. Let's start off with number 1, and my personal favorite: listen to listen and not to respond. The easiest way to truly understand a differing perspective is to just listen with the intent to simply understand, not to win. Number 2, no interruptions. This ensures every voice is heard because every voice is valuable. Number 3, address the statement, not the person. This helps students focus on ideas instead of individuals. And lastly, number 4, participants only represent themselves. This prevents assumptions and encourages personal perspectives. By practicing these simple norms in our meetings, Bridge Mineola has evolved from a club into a thriving community. Here are some of the many things we've done since the beginning of the year. Over the past year, we've tripled our membership and connected with over 100 high school and college-level chapters nationwide. Our chapter's achievements have been highlighted on the official Bridge USA Instagram account and the CEO's personal social media as well. Additionally, our growth has been featured on the monthly Bridge USA newsletters. More recently, I was privileged to be one of the 2 high school chapter leaders invited to present our chapter's journey, sharing insight on how to grow and build a successful chapter with other leaders across the country. More importantly, students who previously struggled to share their beliefs without conflict are now engaging in respectful and productive conversations, showing that civil discourse can happen even in a divided environment, because it isn't about what you believe, but how you express what you believe. Bridge Mineola is not a club where students diminish their opinions to fit in, but a club where students openly embrace their controversial ideas, fostering an environment where disagreement and friendship can coexist, something that feels increasingly rare in today's polarized world. As our chapter continued to grow over the next few months, I received an email. Somewhere amongst the many paragraphs, it read, After much reflection and strategic evaluation, the Bridge USA executive team has made the difficult decision to sunset the high school program at the end of the 2024 to 2025 academic year. At first, I was extremely upset, devastated even. How do I tell everyone in my chapter that everything we worked for is over by the end of the year? After some reflection, I surprisingly felt hopeful. Yes, our chapter, along with many others, must come to an end, but the fact that this movement rapidly grew so much that sustaining high school chapters is no longer feasible just shows the impact that we've made together. Our success is not a loss, but a sign of how far we've come and how much we've contributed to this nationwide community. So, what's next? While we'll no longer be recognized as an official Bridge USA chapter, our mission remains unchanged: to create a space rooted in empathy, understanding, and respectful conversation. Next year, Bridge Mineola board members will transition back into Political Discourse Club, carrying forward everything we've learned to continue fostering dialogue that bridges divides and builds communities. So, as we turn the page on this chapter, I leave you with this. Never stop engaging in political dialogue, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Have the difficult conversations, but do it with the intention to understand, not to win. Democracy isn't something we inherit, it's something we build, one conversation at a time. Thank you.